Today I am deeply honored that dignitaries such as Honorable Justice P.T. Asha and Justice Satyanarayana, Senior Counsel P.M. Subramanian sir, and all of you have gathered here for this occasion, introducing my book. So now the book is now available. The book is now available for you all to read. So this is not the occasion where I can discuss what I have written, but I will restrict myself to why I have written this book. We all know that we have a written constitution, and in our constitutional scheme of things, the constitution is where all the powers, responsibilities, rights and duties emanate from. So this constitution has established several high offices, created positions of power, and while doing so, it has also laid down their powers, duties and functions. And while delegating powers to such authorities, those delegatees such as the Parliament and state legislative assemblies have created several institutions, positions of powers, and while doing so, such sources of law have also laid down their powers, rights and duties. Now the simple question is, what happens when one authority oversteps and steps into the shoes of the other authority? What happens? All these powers are defined. So nobody can exercise a power not vested in him or her by law. That is where the role of judiciary comes in. We have the judicial review. That is why when one authority steps into the shoes of the other, oversteps and performs a function or exercises a power not vested in such authority by law, judiciary enters, strikes down such activities and puts them in place. Now, what happens practically, the practical ramification of one authority assuming the power of another authority? We are all part of several organizations, including the bar. Some of us are government advocates. Some of us are inspiring to enter the judiciary. We all know that all of us have our own limitations, have our own powers and rights and functions. In a litigating office, for instance, what happens when a junior associate takes all decisions that are supposed to be taken by the senior partner? Would that not create friction in the work atmosphere? Then we will all be competing with each other to decide who is more powerful than whom. Is this good for the litigants, for our clients? No. Think about this in the larger picture. When two high offices established by the Constitution, two most powerful authorities such as the union government and the state government, what happens when there is a constant friction in the functioning and one authority steps into the shoes of the other authority? What happens? The governments will be spending so much of their time, efforts, energy and money on those simple spats, on litigations, just so that they can struggle against each other to show who is more powerful than the other. What is the practical ramification? It is the people who are the ultimate sufferers. In fact, I have quoted His Lordship, Justice Satyanarayana, in one of the chapters, wherein when a litigation between the Chief Minister and the Lieutenant Governor comes up before the Madras High Court, His Lordship has pointed out that such frictions among the two exalted high officers in the constitutional scheme only results in unnecessary litigation and expenses for the governments. Is this the first instance where this happens? No. Some instances that I have pointed out in my book are recurring in nature. In the first chapter, I have narrated several specific instances of how the friction between the governor of a state and the council of ministers of the state, or for that matter, the struggle between the union government and the state governments, have gone up to the High Court and then to the Supreme Court, and how they are resolved. And the one important thing that we should see is that in every subchapter, the same problem recurs. One, when Arunachal Pradesh is in a constitutional crisis, that is resolved with the judiciary, then Uttarakhand goes into that crisis, very same crisis. That is resolved by the judiciary, then Punjab goes into the same crisis. Who is to pay the price? It is ultimately the people who are the sufferers. The elected governments who are supposed to work for the welfare of the people end up fighting with each other just to ensure that they are regarded more powerful than the other. Now, why is this recurring? Probably because there is enough scope for exercising discretion and enough scope for interpretation of provisions of law, which in fact the judiciary has clarified very many times. The purpose of this book is to initiate discussions and debates so that we ensure that in future these problems do not recur. And one such example, as pointed out by my senior Rajeshwari, is this very obvious gathering where we had the guest of honor differing with me. Is this not the beauty of democracy we live in? We all have differences of opinion. Only when confluence of thoughts come, new thoughts emerge. That is when we decide what is right and that is how we decide what is right and what is wrong to the society. Only when different opinions and different discussions, perspectives are discussed and debated, we arrive at new schemes, new points, so that the friction points are reduced. That is why this book. I am very glad today that Senior Mr. Mohan is here, Senior Mr. C.P. Manoharan is here, all my friends, my family, my father-in-law is here, my wife is here. All of them have inspired me to write this book. This book is a collection of the thoughts of all of you who have conversed with me. So I hope you all find this book very interesting. Thank you very much.